What's up, traders? So Friday into the week, and I'm going to talk about some Bollinger Bands. One of my favorite indicators that I've used. Of course, I have the momentum system, and Bollinger Bands is what I use for my EA and a lot of different. I've used them for a lot of stuff. So in this video, I'm gonna just give you a rundown of different settings, how to use it. I've done a few trainings on them. It's not an end-all be-all by any means, but it's a great tool to use, whether you want to use it with one of my systems, Momentum. We use it in the accelerator on my bot, but you really need to know trend direction to get a good read on how to use Bollinger Bands in general, right? So any indicator is not the end-all be-all. It's a tool, right? So you should always remember that. Price action is number one, but being able to identify and pick a bias, and you probably heard me talking about bias a lot. I'm going to start sharing about it a lot more because it's one of the central themes around my trading and what I do as a mentor and as a coach, and as what I've seen the most success with as a owner of Soul Funding and our own prop firm now, right? So this was a trade that I took. I shared it in the group today on gold. Now you can see here on these Bollinger Bands, number one, the first thing that you need to do, number one, is identify the trend. I like to use a 200 SMA. I like to use an envelope, and the Bollinger Bands is a really, really good identification tool for the trend, right? So here, it's just a little bit different than the stock settings. This is a 20 link and 2.1 standard deviation. I've also used 24 links loaded down a little bit, and 2.1 about the same. So last night I turned my EA on right around here, and this is where we entered on gold. So you can see here on the actual EA itself, if you go over to our live account, this is you can see right in these areas, this was out at entry, but took some, actually closed out profits too early, of course, but on this pullback I got out right about here, and then we got a big continuation lower. This is a 180 pip move, right? So, but this was my entry right there. Also had some entries on AU and a really good entry on Euro New Zealand, and it triggered off of this Bollinger Band right here. I was looking for us to turn around and bounce right as we were coming along to this area, and this is where I'd gotten out. I actually just got triggered in. I don't think you can really even see it. There it is, right? So I got triggered and I closed it because it's the end of the week. So, this is done automatically with my EA that you've heard me talk about. Now, using your Bollinger Bands here, so say you wanted to look at US 30, right? So there's two things that you can do. You can look for a range like this. When the bands are going sideways, is a great opportunity for range trading, but inevitably you're going to have a move like this. And this is something where, you break out of the range and you have a big move against the Bollinger. So this is something you need to keep in mind always, especially if you're looking to trade a range like this, which Asian session is usually the time you would see a range of that sort. But here, when you get too far away from the 200 moving average, you can expect a pullback closer to it. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So I like to identify the areas, and here I don't even really see one in US 30, but I like to identify a good trend. Here's GJ, right? GJ works great with Bollinger Bands. This is a good trend here where this would have been a great entry. Here we break out pretty hard against this Bollinger, but come back, and this would have been a great trade. This also would have been a really nice trade as well. So something to keep in mind. And how did I really get this? And look at GJ like this. This would have been a really good determination, but I actually was looking for it to kind of get out of this range, but man, this looks solid. This would have been an awesome entry right here as well, right against this Bollinger Band. This would have been your play. So over the weekend, this weekend, I think it would be awesome thing for you to do is to have a look at, when your entry point, and, whether you're using an EA to trigger it, like myself and the other people in our group. We're doing a group challenge and a group assessment on that. And, they're actually learning how to use this system with my EA in order to do it. But over the weekend is going to be a great time to back test, and you can really focus on your risk to reward here, right? Because like you've heard me talk about it with soul funding, as I see on the back end of everything, risk to reward is just massive. You want to have good risk to reward, even just like 1 to 1.3 will get you there if you can figure out a way. And that's what my systems are. The point of it really is to get these bigger moves like this where it barely would have triggered. And so a good thing to do over the weekend would be to find these areas like I have done and that I'm demonstrating here, and find those good risk to reward trades in your back testing using the Bollinger Band. It's a great approach, a great way to do it. And you can see areas here where it didn't quite hit. This would have been a great setup, and start to formulate how to identify the trend and then how to use these Bollingers to get in on trend. But remember, your trade management is number one. What do I mean by trade management? When you're moving stop loss to entry, how big of a stop do you have? Are you getting trades that are out at break even, or what's that even look like for you, right? So this is super important thing to keep in mind, that you definitely want to have at the forefront of your mind is what is your risk to reward and how can you dial that in. So because you're going to have losers, right? So you have to get over that aspect of it. You don't want to be a perfectionist in trading, because you'll never make it happen for yourself, right? So this was Scott's results. This is 1 week with Jarvis. Got through the learning curve because Jarvis is the EA using these Bollingers, ready to hit it hard on Monday. 4K, 12 trades, 9 wins, 3 losses. So we're having some really good results here using the EA and showing it how to use it. But if that's something you'd like to learn or be a part of course, you can click the link below. But even if you want to just start to get a handle of this strategy on your own, and then maybe down the road you could learn it with us, start back testing this, identify a moving average, right? The Bollinger Bands, and then building a strategy around those to help you to get dialed in on when to enter the trades, when to confirm. Like here, this would be perfect, right? Here you have a momentum cross. My whole system works together, right? If you have a momentum cross and a break of the Bollinger and a break back inside, man, this is a great setup. And obviously you can see the risk to reward here as well. So something to keep in mind when you're looking for these is a confluence as you're identifying trends, looking for pullbacks in the trends, and then making moves to capitalize on them. The standard deviations that I like to use, if you like a wider one, 2.4 with a 21 length is a really great place to start. That's going to have you having less drawdown and, really more sniper entries, which ultimately is what we all want. So have a great weekend, everybody. Click the link below if you want to learn this from me, if you want access to my EA and to really start to have this automation help. It's not the silver bullet, but once you learn the system like Scott there, then you can actually, if you're willing to take time and do this and learn a process, and if you're somebody who is willing to put in the work, not like get rich quick mentality, because if that's you, then this isn't for you. But if you're somebody that's like, man, I'm dedicated to this, click the link below. Let's make it happen for you. Have an awesome weekend. We got Thanksgiving next week. Then we have Christmas. And then we have New Year's resolutions, right? So you know the deal with that. Let's not do New Year's resolutions. Let's make this happen. And let's really have a culture of winning. So thanks for watching, everybody. Hope that helped you with Bollinger Bands. And I'll see you in the group. And whoa. I'll see you next week. All right. Peace.